Arts News, friends. I'm Jimmy Ray, here with you every Friday morning to talk about people, places, and things to do in the arts world of the Ozarks. This week we have the owner of a new record label here in town, as well as one of his artists. We take a look at the Springfield Little Theater as they prep their Come From Away production, as well as upcoming auditions and a talent showcase. That and more. Let's go. Support for Arts News is provided by the Moxie Cinema, currently presenting The Chronology of Water, Atropia, Hamnet, and Casablanca. Showtimes and ticket information at moxiecinema.com.
Hiding underneath my bed as I listen to my mama cry while you let out the demons in your head.
I'm Jimmy Ray. Welcome to Arts News here on KSMU. That was Jake McKenzie with his tune, The Devil of Arkansas. And he is one of the recording artists at a local record label. It's called Glenstone Records. I have Jake in studio with me today, as well as the founder of Glenstone Records, James Box. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
So, record label. When I first heard about this, I kind of grew up in that last golden age of actual physical selling CDs and stuff like that, and it was pretty hot to trot there for a while. As the streaming thing took over, it changed a little bit. James, tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind starting this label and some of the challenges, some of the pros and cons here in this new day and age of streaming music.
So whenever I was growing up being a musician myself, there was very few options on the table. It's kind of what to do with it as a profession within my circle. And I was like, well, I'm not really myself, the performer type, things like that, but I really enjoy being a part of other people's projects.
Sure.
I really like to have a hand in using my talent with instrumentation and stuff like that to really push others and see success like that. And so I was like, well, how can I do that? And then, obviously the general concept of a record label is pretty well known as far as like a team and help in making that work. And so that's kind of the way it started. And it's the classic, the more you learn, the more you find out you don't know. Went down the rabbit hole for a while and kind of got prepared in a way where I was able to start it, founded it in 2022.
Okay.
And then, so we're coming up on 4 years. And it was more of just what I wanted to do is being so small to start and so independent is I wanted to see, okay, what in today's society, what are the pros, the cons, what is kind of the outlook on a label, right? How people view it, how the technology has changed that and everything like that. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to pick those points out and really any type of negativity or any type of problem with the normal system, if you will, I wanted to go in and really enforce making that better, and that would kind of offset, okay, I don't have like a huge backing right from the start or stuff like that. So it was very interesting to go through that path and to learn on the ins and outs.
Kind of like having to molt from the old strategies and the old ways,
exactly.
Because a lot of these older cats, myself included, their whole career was kind of led up to that, and the internet broke, and then streaming broke, and it was just a total 180.
Right. You hear the stories people wanted to break out. They'd put their physical copies on the windshields of executives' cars in Nashville and things like that.
Whatever you got to do, bang the door down and get that meeting, and
Exactly.
So when we're talking about Glenstone Records here, and we have Jake here along with us, was this the thing where you guys were teamed up right from the front, or you started, James, and sought out, or what was the...
I started out, like I said, it was a lot of figuring things out from the beginning, because everything's done in-house so far except for occasional vendors that I reach out to. So it was a lot of like figuring all that stuff out myself, working through different things, figuring out what genres I wanted to work with, what's the demographics that really, synced well with what I was doing with the area, things like that.
Yeah.
And country's really, it's always been hot in this area. It's very hot right now on the main stage in the world. I mean, you've seen that shift over the last 3 years, honestly, 2-3 years. So that was a really nice big sandbox to be able to play in that I thought was pretty wise to have such a range to be able to then get a start and have so many connections, so many subgenres. I mean, Jake can talk a little bit about that. So many subgenres that you're able to cross over with, and just the community in country and rock and everything is fantastic. It always has been. So,
well, you sent me a couple singles of Jake McKenzie,
Yeah.
Daisy and Devil of Arkansas. Good stuff, hot Texas country type stuff, but country music, Jake, kind of so many evolutions over the years, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, James talked about it was obviously hot here, all going back to the Ozarks Jubilee. I mean, that Porter Wagner, Red Foley, that whole thing. Obviously, you went into the 70s with the Hag and all that, and the next thing you know, you're into the 80s with George Strait, and obviously here comes Alan Jackson. Garth Brooks changed it all. Over the past, into the 90s, 2000s, teens, and now the 2026, country music, why'd you land on it? Is it something you were brought up on? Something?
So that's actually a funny story. So I grew up in a household where, 1 minute you've got Blink-182 or Fall Out Boy blaring, and then you've got Shania Twain on.
Right.
So I grew up in a big mix. First song I ever remember listening to is Don't Stop Believing by Journey. So it was kind of interesting that I landed there. Like I said, I'm a big pop punk guy, big rock guy. And then, I had that traditional country instilled by my dad. My mom, she's a classical pianist. So she had a full ride to ASU.
Wow.
They came from Arizona for classical piano. She dropped that to start a family.
Yeah. So are you born and raised here, or?
I was born in Kansas.
Kansas, okay.
Moved here when I was really young. I don't remember Kansas that much, other than when we went out to see family. My dad brought the whole mix of genres. So he's a big rock guy, big classic rock guy, pop punk, and traditional country. Like, it was everything on the playlist. And so I grew up with a mix of everything.
Yeah.
I started songwriting at, 11.
Oh, wow.
Really young.
Is that with an instrument too in tandem, or just
that's
words?
just sitting in my room writing on a paper.
Yeah, man.
And around 12, I picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
Just Googled on YouTube, how do you play a guitar?
Yeah.
And
it's like I need some music behind this stuff.
Exactly. Started doing that. Kept writing. Wrote for years. Nothing good. Like, going back and looking through some of those pages, it's rough to look at. But
anybody who's a songwriter knows that that's a process.
Oh, yeah.
That you got to write 100 bad ones before you even get to one that might be where you want to be.
Right.
I mean, I tell James all the time, I wrote thousands of songs, but none of them are ever going to see the light of day.
That's good, man. You got to hone that craft.
Yeah.
So what about the state of country music right now? I think it's gone through so many endeavors. I mean, are we putting the emphasis back on songwriting now, you think?
Yeah, I'm a big words guy. Instrumentation, his side of things is very important. But if I'm listening to a song, I want to connect to the words and what the person is saying. And so that's one thing I really lean into. Nothing I ever write is fake.
Right.
So it's either a story from my life or it is driven by an emotion that I'm feeling at the moment. And so, like, Devil, about a bar fight, and James was like, tell me this isn't true. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it is. I can't lie to you, it is. Like, nothing I've ever written is fake.
Yeah.
I think that authenticity means a lot to people like me. Now, it may not mean a lot to everybody.
Sure. You're not going after everybody.
Yeah.
You know, that's a losing game in show business if you're trying to reach everybody.
Yeah.
You got to really narrow it down. It sounds like the sound, from what I've heard so far, you're chiseling away that new country sound that has a path forward here. And when it comes
Texas
to
rock.
Yeah, you know, and when it comes to that writing process or that collaboration that you guys have, what's that look like?
So really what happens is I come in with an acoustic guitar and say, James, I wrote a song.
Yeah. and you play it for them and
Yeah.
you listen to talk about it?
And then we'll do a demo with just me and an acoustic, feel out chord progressions, what should be changed, what we should add in there, what we should take away.
Yeah.
We were just in the studio last week and I wrote a verse and we did the demo and we're just like, no. And so we ended up fixing the verse. Then we'll usually bring in Peyton Anderson, who's my drummer, tech guy. He plays pretty much every instrument. So we'll bring him in and we'll send him the file. He'll come in. We'll kind of talk through. And it's kind of funny. When me and him get in the studio together, we're just linked immediately. It makes it so nice.
You don't want to take that for granted either, because those types of things are hard to find.
We talk about it all the time, me and James. We're just like, I don't know what we'd do without him, because he's a wizard.
It's one thing, talented musicians, and it's the other thing when it's that linked.
I will try and explain what I'm hearing. He just knows. And I know I explained it poorly. I did not paint a good picture, and then he does it. We're working on a song right now. I don't know how people will feel about it. I love it. That's the whole thing for me, is the moment I start making music that I don't love and I'm just doing it so the streams will go up, is the moment I know I'm going down the wrong path. Because music's never been about streams or glory for me. It's always been an outlet. And so we're working on a song it's got some punk to it, and we got in the studio trying to figure that out, and I was just tapping on the table, kind of a drum beat that I was hearing when I'd listened to the demo. And just within 5 seconds, he just hit record and did the whole song in one take.
Magic.
And I was just like, don't touch it. Do not touch it. We're not changing anything.
Another rarity, man.
Yeah.
If you're feeling that kind of collaboration and that kind of spark, you definitely want to get it while you can.
Yeah.
You know? So when it comes down to the process of releasing the music, we know that the music's got to be right there where it's going to be. Is this single type stuff you're pushing out? Are you guys waiting for a full record, EPs? How's it gonna look whenever it really starts dropping? Are stuff already out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's got singles out. We are now, and it's kind of been pushing his first full album. So that will be later this year. It's a good thing to have a lot of singles first before that, kind of be able to target audience, ads, and stuff like that, and also at the same time really focus on the qualities of each song and get people associated with him more that way. And then that album is a really special moment to giving the audience that solid direction of, okay, this is where Jake McKenzie is headed.
Are we looking at mainly just online releases here? Or are we looking at live performances, Jake? You out there? Are you hoping to?
We just got back from Columbia. We played the Missouri Country Fest on Saturday. I do love performing live. Like, that is one of the main loves of this whole thing. It's tough being so small and performing live, but we have been really blessed to get some connections. I've been able to open for artists like Lakeview, Drake White, Sterling Elza, which Sterling Elza was my first show.
Fantastic.
And he was fantastic to us. I mean, like, I love Sterling, and I listened to him for like years before. When I got that call, I was ecstatic. But like, he is the target. You know, like the way he treated us and everything was just like I couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah.
You know, he set
It's
a
good to
standard
meet your
for us.
heroes or folks that you look up to
Yeah.
and pay off. You know,
Yeah.
many times it doesn't go that direction. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have those kind of moments.
It was.
And it's tough out there, like you said, just trying to, you know, that used to be a big part of the format too. Is you go out on tour and you pound it out. But man, on this day and age, online, you've got to have some sort of traction there first, you know. So I assume it's part of the plan, James, with your artists to really have a well-rounded online social media plan as well.
Yes, it's one of these things where when I've started this company, you know, from scratch, obviously right off the bat you're wearing 2,500 different hats. I mean, you know, and the goal with each one is giving the proper attention to each one, and then as you know, you grow and you learn and different things like that, then you're, Lord willing, able to fill those spots and everything like that, and have that team effort. And we've already seen that. You know, it's a slow process, but then every time I turn around, I'm able to see how many steps I've come. I'm like, you know, that's encouraging. And it's one of those things where doing that is really enables me to keep my attention on where it needs to be. I'm not worried about me having to wear so many hats. It's just being in that position allows me to just treat every situation exactly how it needs to be, how I want to be, and I look forward to it. And to touch on what he was saying about writing in the studio, another thing is the brain power. You know, we have my sound engineer, Trevor, phenomenal guy, and besides bringing the technical side to the table, just having us all hanging out for the songwriting experience or the instrumentation experience, that's kind of the goal or the job, is to go the extreme. You know, maybe we're talking about having 3 different instrument parts in a song, but those aren't going to make the cut, right? But at least we went there and we covered all the bases, turned over every rock, and figured it out. And then now we know, okay, we've got the best possible product now.
No more lingering around going, oh, I wish we would have tried the Rhodes on that tune, or maybe it could have been better with the horns.
Regrets. Yep.
The collaboration and reaching other people's psyche really is what it's about, because that's just going to help you in the long run reach the net, you know?
Right.
Talking with James Box and from Glenstone Records, and an artist on Glenstone Records, Jake McKenzie. We heard a tune right before this segment of his, and we'll hear another one going out here in a bit. But Jake, what's on tap here? What's the 1-year plan? What's the 5-year plan? I mean, what would success mean to you here in the next?
That's a good question. I mean, you know, the dream is to be able to do it for a living.
Sure.
I mean, and I heard an artist, I forget his name, talking the other day, and he said, if you can, in this day and age, if you can pay your bills from music, you've made it.
Yeah.
It's not all about, you know, arena tours and $1 million deals. To be able to just, you know, do what I love for a living would be a blessing.
Yeah.
And I know that takes a lot of hard work, and, you know, sky's the limits. I would love to do an arena tour one day.
Sure.
You know, that's a dream. But, you know, if I could just continue this till the day I die, be able to do what I love for a living, that is just the main goal. I mean, even if things don't pan out, the streams don't pick up, the beautiful thing is I don't have to stop.
Sure.
You know, I work full time right now. I'm in school full time, and I do this. I'll be 60 years old in the corner of a bar playing music. I don't really care. I've told him that many times, and he's like, let's not think that way. Let's think sky's the limits. But man,
sure. But I think that type of honesty and kind of acceptance of whatever may be can go a long way, because if you start trying to force a lot of things, I've spent a lot of time in show business, and forcing things never works.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do the work, like you said.
Yeah.
But forcing the round peg into a square hole or vice versa just
Right.
doesn't work. So it sounds like you guys got a great plan here, a great path forward, already doing great work from your start in 2022. Can folks stay in touch with you online, socials, whether it be Glenstone Records or Jake?
Yes,
What's the links we need to
absolutely.
note here?
That's a constant thing we're working towards. You know, constantly updating the different platforms and everything. We've got Glenstone Records everywhere. GlenstoneRecords.com. It's pops up very well on search engines, so you can follow us everywhere, social media, and look out for other artists too. We've got Logan Lee Williams. He's a great folk kind of Appalachian genre of country. So far, Glenstone is country rock label. And then check us out everywhere. And then Jake
McKenzie Music on all platforms.
Excellent. So whenever we're talking about the label itself, James, what are you looking for? I mean, what brought you two together? What brought your other artists to you?
Sure.
What are you looking for? Because I know to take someone on is a huge responsibility, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's a huge commitment.
I got to steal this one. So this guy is actually the reason we came together.
Oh, our
As
camera
he's
guy.
pointing to the cameraman.
Yeah. So I was at a bachelor party that we were both invited to, and my buddy getting married, he had told me to bring my guitar because we were going to build a fire and, wanted some songs.
Sure.
And so he ended up taking a video of me doing a terrible rendition of Revival by Zach Bryan. And somehow it made its way to him. And then I got a DM from him saying, hey, saw this video from Colby. That was great. And like in the back of my head, I was like, there's no way that was great, but okay. And I was in school at the time at C of O. And so I kind of turned him down.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have the time. Ended up leaving the C of O, went into the trades, did some dirt side plumbing. I was like, I've got a little more time. If you still want me, I guess we could see if this will work. And I don't know. It's been.
He texted me the day before my birthday, the night before my birthday.
Happy birthday.
I was like, okay, all right. Yeah, I just kind of left it out there, always an open invite.
Yeah.
Literally, number one goal was to be a part of something greater, right? I wasn't the guy that does shows and everything like that, but I love to be a part of magic and different things that are really cool, different aspects. The stories, right? The stories that you hear of really cool musicians, like behind the closed doors, that they're human stories and everything like that, and how the magic of this song was made and everything. That is just an amazing thing to be a part of in the music industry. And so it's one of those things where I'm in a season of my life too. I've been really blessed. Everything's been working out very well. Slow and steady wins the race. So obviously I have no limits on where I'd like to go with it. I mean, it's a full road ahead of me. I'm patient, I'm willing. It's not just the talent, it's that it factor. It's how people click.
You talk more about that. Is that something that you feel in your gut? Is that something that you observe when they're working with other people? Is this something that when you hear their music, or like, what's that click that you're looking for?
Yeah.
That it thing.
It's literally gut mixed with it's just open for anybody to see.
Yeah.
So there's certain things with my gut, like being a musician myself, different things like that as far as the music goes, that it's like, okay, this really has legs.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's the other thing that John Doe could see, how the interactions are, how long people have been working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was talking about his connection with our drummer Peyton, like the way that they've already in this period of time been so efficient with things, and then also like had a history of knowing each other. So it's like, when you can see people go through the ups and the downs and still come out on the other side of the fire and still be there and still make magic like that. I mean, that's something that literally is just on display for everybody to see. And then that's when this is something extra special. We're going to be patient with it. We're going to take it. We're going to run with it.
Yeah.
So
I've got a question for you here, because so many people feel like flocking to music-centric geographic areas is the key. We got to be in Nashville. We got to go to New York. We got to go to LA.
Yes.
Why stay here right now?
I'm glad you brought that up. I was gonna say something about that before. Originally, another inspiration for why I started the label, and I had this a long time ago. I don't know why I felt like this immediately, but I did. It's like there's so much of focus in places like LA, Nashville, New York, which are all important. I mean, the lineage on those places is insane, right? I mean, there's no reason to belittle them at all. But it's one of those things where I love where I'm from, the Ozarks. I'm proud of where I'm from, and I just would honestly like to have a wide open space. Geographically, I don't really have competition on what I'm doing right now. Like, I'd love to just be able to have full reign to just build something cool and new.
Yeah.
And if anything, treat it like an annex for these other places. Like, we're not trying to take over this or that or the other. It'd be more like if parts of Nashville are getting cramped or there's people want room to expand out, hey, come work with us out here in the Ozarks. Let's build something really cool. The state of Missouri even is really putting itself in a position that is really, really good for the entertainment industry. All these things are kind of lining up. I love my home and today's technology. You were saying earlier that the technology. At this point, labels, if they find a talent that they like, they'll just make sure they have all the resources they need in rural Montana, and there you go.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, you don't have to worry about being at a certain location anymore. It helps with certain things,
Sure.
but you don't always have to worry about that.
Well, you don't want to have to go to Nashville and work 3 jobs just to pay the rent, and then next thing you know, you
Right.
got no time to make music.
Right, right, exactly.
And in the words of the great Jeff Houghton, make something where you are. And so many people are kind of gravitating that in the arts here in Springfield, Missouri, and the Ozarks as a whole.
Yep, Branson
and,
area.
Yeah, and our lineage is nothing to bark at either, man. We've got some great history here.
Exactly.
And it's nice to kind of build that up and lift this community up and say we got something right here. We don't need to go anywhere else.
Exactly.
And
That's the goal. That's the dream. I'd love to build on that.
Yeah.
Not even just the music industry. Like, it just helps thrive the community and everything like that. People around here love music.
Yeah.
Right? They love everything from obviously country to, we got a big EDM group here. So it's stuff like that just really, when you look at it like that, when you look at it from kind of the bird's eye view, all the cards kind of line up, and it's really promising.
Yeah.
For what I'm trying to do.
James Box, founder of Glenstone Records, and his artist on Glenstone Records, one of the artists, Jake McKenzie. And you can look them up on all socials, Jake McKenzie Music, Glenstone Records, and get in touch with them as far as what they're doing, where they're headed, and some of the great country music coming out of Springfield, Missouri, right here in the Ozarks. James, Jake, appreciate you so much for coming in, and knock 'em dead. We'll talk soon, all right?
Thank you
Jim.
much.
Thank you.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. Let's go out with one of Jake's tunes here. It's called Devil of Arkansas.
Me and my boys headed out downtown, hoping we could spin a few girls around. 'Cause we got word there's dancing tonight. Well, I walked into a two-step on. Oh Lord, how I love this song. No idea what was waiting for me that night. By verse 1, I was spinning her around when my old boys done tracked me down. Said we got a problem by the bar. When I walked up, there were tears in her eyes, a busted lip and bags of ice. And anger grew in me that night. Well, I met a man out in that parking lot with a scar on his eye and a jaw in his jaw. Said, boy, don't you know I'm the devil of Arkansas? Then he spit on that ground and he laughed in my face. And I said, sir, if that's the case, you won't have a problem when you're old, boy. But you should know you ain't in Arkansas no more. Then I walked in with a swollen left eye, background full of flashing lights. Said, boys, I think it's time we hit the road. The cops are here and he's on the floor. We should probably use that old back door. 'Cause I ain't going to jail tonight. And I met a man out in that parking lot with a scar on his eye and a jaw in his jaw. Said, boy, don't you know I'm the devil of Arkansas? Then he spit on that ground and he laughed in my face. And I said, sir, if that's the case, you won't have a problem with your old boy. But you should know you ain't in Arkansas no more. You ain't in Arkansas no more. You ain't in Arkansas no more.
Support for Arts News today is provided by Dressler Peters Business Law Firm, committed to promoting music and the arts in the Ozarks by supporting local public radio, including KSMU's weekly arts newsletter, The Green Room. Information at DresslerPeters.com. And support is also provided by Pickwick Underground Framing, offering custom picture framing and installation. Open weekdays 10 to 5:30 and Saturdays by appointment at 611 South Pickwick Avenue. Information at PickwickUndergroundFraming.com. And a new sculpture from Sculpture Walk Springfield. It's called Vistallation. It's by Michael Stelzer. It's located at the Hatch Auditorium at the Library Center, 4653 South Campbell Avenue, a visually interactive outdoor sculpture providing a fisheye perspective, playful and reminiscent of children's toys. This simplistic assemblage of bright orange sticks and a reflective ball are arranged so the viewer can see themselves and the adjacent auditorium in 360-degree vistas. Michael Stelzer creates sculpture and functional art. A career in design and advertising has grounded him to think conceptually and to execute within limitations. Using available tools and materials are important parts of his sculpture process. The combination of old-world blacksmithing and modern-day design sensibility is what he is most passionate about. Whether it be through his primary medium of forged iron or the combination of reclaimed wood, glass, or found objects, his goal is to allow the people to engage in their own personal way. His work tends to be either functional or purely aesthetic. But either way, he hopes that he provides endless ways to invoke emotion and curiosity from his audiences. Michael Stelzer says, "While I find this liberating, it comes with a personal sense of responsibility to create something of permanence and meaning. It's Vistallation, a new piece placed by Sculpture Walk Springfield in partnership with Springfield Greene County Library District by sculptor Michael Stelzer. You can see it at the Hatch Auditorium at the Library Center, 4653 South Campbell Avenue, and you can learn more about Sculpture Walk Springfield at sculpturewalkspringfield.org. And Springfield Little Theater is presenting the acclaimed musical Come From Away at the Landers Theater through February 15th. The show tells the true story of what happened in Gander, Newfoundland in the days after the September 11th attacks in 2001, when more than 7,000 airline passengers were rerouted to the small town and welcomed by residents. The musical captures the connections that formed between visitors and locals in the face of sudden upheaval and features a vibrant score as well as moments of humor and heart. Performances run about 100 minutes long with no intermission and is suitable for wide audiences. Tickets are available through Springfield Little Theater at their website at springfieldlittletheater.org. And speaking of Little Theater, the Education Department presents Youth Fest. It's a talent showcase on February 3rd. Youth Fest Talent Showcase celebrating a love of the arts and the pursuit of excellence. It's happening at the Landers Theater. That's 311 East Walnut Street in downtown Springfield, 7 p.m. The Youth Fest Talent Showcase is a variety show fundraiser for the Springfield Little Theater Scholarship Program. Monies raised go directly to scholarships for graduating seniors who have in some way contributed to Springfield Little Theater, either on a performance or technical level. There will be one scholarship awarded to a junior or senior in high school on the evening of the Youth Fest based on their performance in the talent showcase. Tickets and more information about this event is at springfieldlittletheater.org. It's Youth Fest Talent Showcase happening February 3rd, celebrating a love of the arts and a pursuit of excellence. And out at the Aetos Center for the Performing Arts in Nixa, it's Dogman the Musical, February 2nd. Dogman the Musical, based on the worldwide best-selling series from Dave Pilkey, the creator of Captain Underpants and Cat Kid Comic Club. Best buds George and Harold have been creating comics for years, but now they're in their 5th grade. They figure it's time to level up and write a musical based on their favorite character, Dogman, the crime-biting sensation who is part dog, part man, and all hero. How hard could it be? With the head of a dog and the body of a policeman, Dogman loves to fight crime and chew on furniture. But while trying his best to be a good boy, he can save the city from Flippy the cyborg fish and his army of beastly buildings. Can he catch Petey, the world's most evil cat, who has cloned himself to exact revenge on the doggy do-gooder? Find out in this epic musical adventure featuring the hilarity and heart of Dave Pilkey's beloved characters. The show is written by Kevin Del Aguilia and Brad Alexander, who collaborated on the Emmy-winning series Peg Plus Cat on PBS. Jen Wyman directs and choreographs this one night only Dogman the Musical, February 2nd at Aetos Center for the Performing Arts, located at 510 South Nichols Road in Nixa. You can visit their website at aetoscenter.net or give them a call at 417-724-3529. It's Dogman the Musical coming up on February 2nd at the Aetos Center for the Performing Arts. And Missouri artists interested in participating in Artist Ink Express can register now through Mid-American Arts Alliance. It's happening this weekend, January 30th through February 1st, a free statewide virtual workshop, and is open to artists of all disciplines and experience levels. Artist Ink Express is hosted by Mid-America Arts Alliance in partnership with the Missouri Arts Council and focuses on practical tools that support long-term creative and professional growth. Registration is required and space is limited. Artists can learn more and sign up by visiting Mid-America Arts Alliance website at maaa.org and searching for Artist Ink Express Missouri. Additional information about the Artist Ink program is available at artistink.art. It's a free statewide virtual arts workshop taking place this weekend, today through February 1st. Visit maaa.org for more information. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News, and we have a special recording up next from a recent concert from January 17th at Hammons Hall from the Springfield Symphony Orchestra and their concert entitled The Clown, featuring Stravinsky's Petrushka and more. Here's musical director and conductor Kyle Wiley Pickett to introduce the concert.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our first concert of 2026 of the Springfield Symphony Orchestra. We are so happy to have you here tonight for what is going to be a really fun and spectacular concert. The piece that we're playing on the first half of this program is by the Russian composer Igor Stravinsky. It's called Petrushka, and it is a ballet score that he wrote back in 1911 for the Ballet Russe in Paris. This is a storytelling piece in line with our season theme of binge-worthy stories. It's got great characters, it's got a great plot. I want you to take yourself back in time for just a moment to 1911. There's no TV. There's barely any silent film. If you wanted to see a story on stage, you had to go see a production live, just like you're doing right now. And in this case, it is the orchestra that is going to be telling you the story of Petrushka. I'm going to give you a little outline, and we're going to play a couple little examples. This is a piece that is full of musical indications of character that happen every few bars. Too many to demonstrate all of them, but there are a few that I want to show you. This story takes place at the Shrovetide Fair in Russia. And the Shrovetide Fair, just think carnival. It's right before Lent. And so you have crowds of people moving in groups, going to vendors, eating food, seeing magicians and puppet shows, and even a walking bear. In this case, the puppets are the main characters, and the puppets who are our main characters are Petrushka, the clown, who's also known as Punch, if you think of Punch and Judy in England, or Pierrot in France. You have the ballerina, who's beautiful but not too bright, and you have the handsome and evil, cruel Moor. And these three puppets are brought to life by our magician and made to dance for the audience. Well, as it turns out, when our magician brings them to life, he brings them a little bit too much to life. So when they go off stage into their cells, they continue to be alive. And Petrushka, the poor clown, is in love with the ballerina, but she's entranced by the Moor. And so Petrushka dances for her, but really repels her with his odd movements. And then the Moor gets up and dances. Eventually, the Moor and Petrushka fight, and that battle comes back out onto the streets of the fair, and that's where we end our ballet. We're going to play a couple quick examples for you. I want you to hear a couple of the ways that Stravinsky represents characters. So the first example we're going to play for you is the crowd. This is the sound of the crowd, and as we play just a few bars of this, I want you to think about the way that a crowd looks when it's moving around. So that's our crowd, and you'll hear this come back over and over as our crowd is moving through the fair. The second thing I want you to hear is the sound of an organ grinder. So imagine someone with an antique organ grinder, big wooden box with a handle, and you're going to actually even hear the squeaking of the handle. Let's hear our organ grinder sound. Stravinsky heard that on the street, thought it was an old folk song, put it into the ballet, and then someone came knocking and said, "Hey, you stole my music." And he had to pay for that music. So that's the organ grinder music. The next thing I want to demonstrate for you is Petrushka, our clown. When he gets really frustrated and really angry, he curses the magician who brought him to life. And that sounds like this. So when you hear the trumpet like that, that's our angry Petrushka. Stravinsky wrote a great melody for our Moor, our villain in this play, and it sounds like this. And the last thing we're going to demonstrate for you right now, I mentioned that there's a bear. At the end of the fair, a bear handler comes in and puts up a bear on two legs, and he performs tricks. And the bear is played by none other than the tuba. Let's hear our bear. So, tonight we bring you Stravinsky's ballet, Petrushka.